Hi, my name is John Lenko, and I'm the president and CEO of Extensor Systems. Yeah, well, we're a startup company, and we're doing some exciting stuff. Specifically, we're developing next-gen autonomous systems that are artificial intelligence enabled. And our markets are the military, commercial, and industrial markets. I wouldn't say I fell into it, but literally I did fall into it. I wanted to make a difference in something that I could actually, do that I was very good at. And I just happened to have a talent for lack of a better term, it's deep technology. And the way I define deep technology, I work with very technical customers, typically engineers, systems engineers, who are trying to do things better, faster, and cheaper. And my job is to help them do that. Yeah, I wouldn't say I've really struggled a lot. I mean, we all, have our setbacks and things like that, but they're two funny tales that I can relate and maybe even kind of like educate a little bit. There was one company that I worked for up in Silicon Valley that I interviewed with over a 9-month process. And the day that I joined, talking about the setback, the acquisition that I was supposed to work on basically fell through. So when I walked through the door, they said, well, guess what, John? The acquisition that you were supposed to work on just got canceled today. So in essence, you're not going to be working on that. My first thought was, I better pull out my Rolodex. But they said, don't worry, we've got plenty of things for you to work on. And it turns out the thing they wanted me to work on was a product that was an absolute stinker, for lack of a better term. And I actually interviewed with them about this product and told them how bad the product would be. So guess what my job was? My job was to figure out how to make this product work. And it was an interesting project. And what I did was I started working with customers, interviewing them and trying to figure out exactly what was going on. So what we did was we took a product that was selling for about $7,000, marked the price up to about $19,000. People thought I was absolutely crazy, but it turned out it was voted product of the year. And the reason is we were competing against $25,000, $30,000, $40,000 products. So while people thought it was expensive, it was actually pretty cheap. And we came up with a good system. And that was one thing that was actually, it took a lot of work. It was about, 3 months of research and planning and selling people afterwards. That was one thing. And with Extensor, we also suffered an initial setback. We developed a larger system that was designed for a rack mount. We presented it to a partner, actually a Japanese company that could have easily funded us. They basically took a pass on it. And we thought, well, what do we do now? Well, we actually waited. We put the project on the back burner and we waited until some new commercial off-the-shelf components came available. And we were able to take our large system and in essence miniaturize it to the size of a smartphone. And those are the products and the technologies that we're currently marketing specifically for space and also for UAV applications. So those are kind of two situations where things kind of looked dim at the beginning, but guess what? Things definitely worked out. It took time, a lot of hard work, but they worked out. ARCS is, I think it's an exciting area, especially what I love are working with the students and with the professors. You don't realize it, but you're right at the cusp, at the beginning of a new market. And what I mean by that is, if you look at markets and technologies and the way things work, typically technologies have a certain run. They might run for 5 years, 10 years, 15, maybe 20 years if you're lucky, some even 40. However, in the area that we are, technology tends to change very, very quickly. So what I see here, as far as autonomy, as far as AI, it's a market that people really don't have all the answers. And by that, I mean people are trying to figure things out. And what I see here are really very intelligent professors who worked in robotics, who worked in autonomous systems, students that are interested and who actually want to make a difference. And I see us as being able to tap into this pool of people that we could potentially hire as we expand and get funded. So I see it as being right at the beginning of a very large and growing market. And the truth is, if you want to grow and have a future, you always want to target growth opportunities. And I see this as a very large one. Now, I can't really talk too much about the struggles of the students. I mean, most of the students that we've worked with have been very, very professional. So if they're struggling, I sure didn't see it. But I can tell you, the thing that I really like about them is that we've really, what we try to do is we try to give them a lot of direction. By that, I mean our CTO and our program manager are very good at defining what needs to be done. So when we work with students, we have a high-level objective. We tell them what to do. We tell them the steps. We tell them where to do the research. And then we give them, for lack of a better term, the autonomy to go out and figure out the best way to do it. And so far, we've been very impressed with the students that we've worked with. I think the biggest thing that I like about working with students is really, the excitement level that I see. You're talking about some young people that you can work with and hopefully give them some pointers and direction. And it should be obvious that, I'm well past my, student years. But the good thing is I have a lot of experience. And what we've seen are the students we've worked with, they have taught us new ways of doing things. For example, when I was really involved with high technology up in Silicon Valley, the internet was just starting to get going and we were coming up with some new applications. So we were trying to figure out how to do things, how to get applications to run on a wide area and things like that. And now what I see are people that are trying to actually come up and figure out better ways of programming, using AI to potentially do things better, using things like the cloud. So for example, how can you expand an application and actually take advantage of the cloud? So from that perspective, I see a lot of things that we've learned and we've hopefully imparted some knowledge to some really, really bright students too. One of our projects was with the US Navy. When the US Navy had contacted us, they were interested in automating one of their UAVs. That was a $125 million UAV. So in essence, what they were trying to do was take this UAV and, for lack of a better term, turn it into a bus service, where literally one is up in the air, one is on the runway, and one is coming in for landing, and the next one's on the way. So it's kind of like 4 UAVs. So with one of the students, we actually developed a autonomous mission planner, which was really the goal of the project. And the student that we worked with, her first name was Sarah, very bright young lady, and it's always great to see young women interested in science and technology. Anyway, Sarah took one of our PowerPoints and actually developed an application that we were able to demo to the Navy. So from that perspective, without her, we would not have had a demo in a timely manner. So from that perspective, that was a real big win. A second project was a project that we did with Space Force to develop a next-gen autonomous steerable CubeSat for space debris remediation. So I know that's a mouthful, but the student that we worked with, his name was Noah. He actually developed the algorithms specifically that we were using to actually find debris, basically get to the debris, locate the debris, and then approach it, and then attach to that debris using our technology. And Noah worked on the algorithms working with another engineer who was very experienced from another company. So from that perspective, he actually developed the algorithms by himself and figured out how to do it, again with direction. But still, he did the hard work and figured out the calculations. And I can tell you, these are not easy calculations. It's very advanced, basically very advanced physics. I'd say I feel really good about the involvement. I've been very impressed with the professors, the ones we've worked with. We've gotten a lot of good expertise. In fact, they've even helped us write some of our proposals. We've learned a lot on the additive manufacturing side by working with Dr. Bing Bing Lai. And also, I feel like we've developed a good relationship with Dr. Nwit Ho, who heads up ARCS. And he was instrumental in getting us to join. And we've worked on various projects together. And we're basically looking for our next break so that we can get funded and hire a ton of students and also, have professors working with us as consultants. So overall, I'd say the future is incredibly bright. Yeah, I'd say the biggest thing that I've seen with ARCS is that we have been able to take our technology and move it forward. So for our autonomous technology specifically, there are 2 things that we're trying to develop. One is the autonomous mission planner, which is actually a way of developing an autonomous system from development all the way to production. And that's one component that we've been able to move forward. And the second thing that we've also been able to develop is our autonomous control technology, which is our edge technology, both the hardware and the software. So from our collaboration with ARCS, we've been able to take those 2 technologies and move them forward. And really our goal is to be able to get funded so that we can actually develop one of the first autonomous systems, both for the military, commercial, and industrial control markets. And in case you're wondering what the implications are, the real big market is actually the commercial market, and that currently is about a $100 billion plus market. So from our perspective, being able to tap even just into 1% of the market that big would be a tremendous win for us. I wouldn't call them achievements, but one of the good things I've noticed, especially with working with Dr. Ho, is that he's been very good at helping us network with other organizations. So because of him, we were able to do a presentation at Edwards Air Force Base that most people wouldn't have access to for another technology that we're working on, which is an anti-laser system, specifically an anti-laser skin. So we were able to present that to a group that does classified work, for lack of a better term. So that, I would say, was a real achievement. And also just meeting the professors and working with them on projects. And what I see here is really the basis of a collaborative effort. So there are a lot of things that we can do moving forward. And once we get the break that we're looking for and we get the funding, we'll be rolling very quickly. This has been a presentation of ARCS, the Autonomy Research Center. My name is John Lenko, and I'm a very satisfied partner. And I strongly urge you to join and work with these great people. Thank you so much.
Well, Spot's excited, and so are we. Hope you enjoyed that video. Check out our social media here with links in the description. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Thank you.